Are you soft-spoken or are you loud?
I don't know. I guess.
I guess
No.
we'll find out. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Kiskapades podcast. Today I have a very special guest who just joined me, and I'll let her introduce herself before I just take it any further. Before I just start giving her like all the stripes and all the medals that come with her title. So introduce yourself and tell people what you do before I take it from there.
Yes, so I'm Amare. I'm a DJ from Belgium.
Okay, I'll need you closer to the mic.
At the moment, I am doing a little tour in Africa.
Yeah.
And
That's it. I need to put some salt into it. She's been doing like a world tour from last year. How many cities did you tour last year?
cities. I don't even know.
A lot?
I at the end of the year, I calculated the list of. I know that because I made a little overview at the end of the year
Yeah.
from 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So there I know it was 15 different countries and 75 gigs. But I never counted the cities.
Oh, if 75 gigs, different places, it might be more than 75 cities or 75 cities.
No. It's probably going to be around 60 or something because I sometimes play twice in the same city. So it's not going to be different cities.
Okay.
Not all the time.
Yeah, but a lot of places. We can say that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you pronounce your name? It's
Amare.
Amari.
So,
Okay, we need you
Amare.
closer to the mic.
So
You know how this DJing thing works? Yeah. Yeah, squishing.
no, I don't use a microphone when I DJ.
Oh, you don't do those? You don't hype up people. That's why you keep running
Not
away
an-
from the mic.
I'm not an MC, I'm a DJ.
Okay, so it's Amari.
Amare. So Amare is actually a Latin word.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Latin verb and it means to love. So it stems from Latin, but I guess you can pronounce it however you want.
But is that your stage name or also
Yes.
like
It's
your
my-
name?
It's
What's
my
your
artist name, yeah.
What's your name? Oh, you don't want to share that.
My name is Noon.
Noon?
Yeah, you can call me Noon.
That's also Latin.
No.
What does it mean? Or
Yeah,
it's just one of those names?
it's just an abbreviation, but it happens to mean midday in English. But that's just by accident, actually.
So that was not the intent. Okay, even before we proceed with just the podcast, I noticed from your press kit, I know you're vegetarian, and I paid attention to that, and that's why I had the quick throwaway of the option of fruit salad in the morning, nice coffee, of course, with soya or almond milk.
Yes.
Is there a specific reason why you're vegan or?
Oh, yes. I have a lot of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, I just don't like the idea of eating dead bodies.
Okay.
So it doesn't appeal me. But next to that, of course, I think that it's about time to question the meat industry and how we treat animals as if they are just there to, serve us.
Mm-hmm.
And especially how much the meat industry and the milk industry damage the environment, and they are basically the biggest contribution of the global warming, and it definitely is worrisome. So
Yeah.
I just rather don't sponsor that
Or
industry.
participate in it.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about people who eat now, for me, I was just when you ask me what are you eating, because we had already made your order, I could go with chicken wings straight up in the morning, and now unfortunately I can't do that. But what do you feel?
Yes, of course you can.
No, I can't.
You do
I can't
whatever you want.
No, here's the thing. But how do you feel about
no, I'm not
people who eat
no,
meat?
I'm not offended when people eat meat
Oh,
in
you're
front of me.
not?
Of course not. I mean, it's everyone's own choice. It's just my choice to not do it. But
Mm-hmm.
if people, I guess it's also, I mean, I'm not judging other people. I just, for myself, decided that I don't need it to be
Mhm.
healthy. I actually believe that it's healthier to not drink milk or cheese, or,
Yeah.
so I don't need it, and I get enough very healthy proteins and all the minerals and vitamins I need from like plant-based food.
True.
So then I don't see the need for me to harm other species and the environment with my diet. But if other people think that they really need, because quite a lot of people are convinced that they need meat for their health,
Yeah.
so then, I mean, that's their belief and their way to live. I mean, it's a choice. It's a personal choice. I'm not gonna try to convince other people to, you know, to.
To
It's real.
change their
Yeah, no,
lifestyle.
it doesn't work like that. It has to be your own. You
Choice.
have to be convinced yourself. Otherwise, it's also not gonna work. It's gonna be very difficult to stick to a diet that you don't even believe in. Like, that's
True. True. Do you
doesn't work like that.
exercise? Do you exercise, or just that's the main reason why you go?
Do I exercise? Well, I guess not enough, but sometimes I try to be a bit active. Of course, I dance a lot.
Ah, yeah, of course. As a DJ, it comes with the life. You just have to.
So I
Es-
am quite active in the weekends.
Okay. Speaking of which, like I told you, by just arriving at the podcast, you actually broke the record of, the the guest who came like the latest. You have that title. I wish there was an award I could like just hand it over to you, because you broke that record. But you remember yesterday when we were having this conversation, and I told you if you want to get here like on time, it would be best if you like tried to be out of like the hotel at least an hour or an hour and a half to be here on time because of the traffic and just the craziness that's within like Nairobi in the morning. What do you think of like the transportation system now that you've experienced like that little rush hour?
Well, actually, almost every big city in the world has this traffic jam problem during rush hour.
Mm-hmm.
So there are not many cities who found a solution to it yet.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, I think the roads in Nairobi are pretty nice.
They're nice.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
First,
I guess it's just because I compare them with other places and I'm always thinking like, our transportation is horrible. But the roads are nice, but the traffic is just
the
crazy.
traffic is crazy, but it's crazy in most big cities.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe there could be a way to have more collective ways of transportation.
Yeah.
If the public transportation system was more convenient, more comfortable,
Yeah.
more safe, maybe then more people would use it.
Yeah.
Although I guess you never get rid of the fact that people just love to be in the comfort zone of their own car.
True.
And even cities that have an amazing metro line system and tram lines and all that still have the problem of too much traffic in the
Too
morning.
much traffic. Yeah.
So even when people have those options,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's difficult to change that mentality because people love their cars.
And if you're heading to the airport, you're definitely missing your flight. You know that, right?
Yeah, well, so yeah, I'll calculate 2 hours in advance.
Just to let you know, like, if you need to catch a flight, just leave 2 hours in advance. Okay, enough about like the transport system, but you should try out the bikes, as I told you. Like, if you need
Yeah.
to go somewhere, try out the bikes. Even now, if you get a chance, it's a bit sunny, it's a bit warm. Going back to the hotel,
weather has been
try
nice.
try the bike, and let me know about your experience.
Yes, I'll try it.
So let's jump into just music in general, because that's your specialty, EDM music, right?
No,
No?
no.
What? Am I wrong?
Yes.
Please tell me. Please correct me.
No, I don't play EDM at all.
It's techno.
I actually don't like EDM.
What do you play?
I play mostly melodic house and techno.
Oh yeah, okay. It's
Um,
just because I'm not sure about the feel I know it's quite wide. The difference. So techno and melodic house.
Yeah, no, so melodic techno and house.
Okay.
But also not, I mean, I know that some people might consider EDM as within the group of house, because house music is a very wide range, of course. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, there are different shades of house.
Okay.
And I mainly play the deeper, more melodic house. That is mostly instrumental. There are sometimes also vocals, but it's definitely not as vocal as, for instance, the Chicago house or the Afro house.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got all my homework all wrong. But I know, I think I have the rough idea, because I listened to a little bit of snippets that you've posted like on your Instagram and stuff. It's just because I'm not really invested in that kind of like world. I'm more into the hip hop influence side, because I used to DJ way back, and then I just I was just not feeding me. I'd have been homeless by now. If I continued DJing, I'd have been homeless in Kenya.
It's definitely, yeah, it's definitely not
It needs
not
persistence.
the most easy way to earn your living. It's a challenge, yeah.
Growing up in Belgium, I just want to understand how you came to be comfortable, like just pursuing DJing as a career. What did you want to be when you were growing up?
It took me a very, very long time to realize that maybe that's something I want to do. I started very late. Most people start in their, early 20s, or even when they're a teenager. But no, I was busy doing other things back then. I was studying. I studied a lot. I went to university. I worked in different places.
What did you study in
Um,
uni?
So I started. I did a lot of different things. I started with political and social sciences.
What?
That was my first choice when I was 18 years old.
Okay.
It's very interesting, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I continued to sociology, because you have to pick one track.
Mm-hmm.
And then I studied anthropology, because I love traveling, and I'm just interested in other cultures and other societies. And like at the same time that I started studying at university, I also started working in a marketing agency. So I was always kind of doing both things at the same time. And I guess that's where I got interested in studying communication. So after I finished anthropology, I realized that I never had seen like a job position for an anthropologist. It just doesn't exist. Nobody needs an anthropologist. It's just something that's interesting, but it's not gonna lead to any job opportunities.
Yeah.
So then I decided that I studied media and communication, which was actually not a good choice, because it was a very theoretical course. Like it was a master degree that was mainly studying theory about, like, it was not very practical.
It wasn't practical, and at times, if you're not like a book kind of person, you want to go out and actually have these engagements.
Yeah, okay, but I am a book kind of like.
Oh, that's you?
Yeah, I can easily read. Yeah, I do 200 pages in one night or something.
I
so
can't do that.
I at least back then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Maybe not anymore,
Yeah.
because my memory already.
Yeah, definitely.
But so I was just studying the books at home. I actually also didn't go a lot to classes, because obviously I was also working, but also because I just prefer to go through the pages by myself. Preferably at night, I guess, as you already noticed, I'm not a morning person. So, and yeah, I like to study if it's something that interests me, at least. I like to read a lot, so I kind of kept studying. So after I did a course in web development, then I changed jobs. I did different things. I decided to study psychology after a few years, and then I was teaching at that time. And
You're also a teacher.
So yeah, I was always studying and teaching at the same
Oh, okay. Yeah.
studying and working at the same time. So after the marketing agency,
Mm.
I worked. I lived in an RV actually for 4 years, and I traveled around.
Mm.
And then I started working in a school. I was teaching,
Mm-hmm.
and it was there that my interest grew in education and teaching. And then I saw a position for a PhD, so I applied for it and I got the grant. So I did a PhD in education, and then I kept working at the university.
Yeah.
So it was like I have been, like I was already doing different careers for 15 years before
Yeah.
I even had for the first time the idea about
Yeah.
maybe I want to do something with music. I was always doing a lot with music, but only in my leisure time. You know, like every
Like
weekend.
listening or
Yeah, a lot going to events and festivals and attending, parties. So I was always very much into electronic music, as a lot enjoying it. That was really, my. I always say music is my therapy. You know, I need it.
An
I go
outlet,
out and
right?
I'm recharged after the weekends. Well, most people, or like they need some time to recover. But for me, it's really my way to charge myself, my batteries. So the interest in electronic music was always there, but I never thought about doing something with it as a job, because I guess also that's how I was raised. Like
Yeah.
my parents were always putting all the attention on academic things.
Yeah.
And music, that was something for the free time, that was hobby. That was not something that could lead to a career. So yeah, it took me a long time before I at some point thought, maybe I would like to be a DJ.
Yeah.
But then I think I already decided I was going to do it while I was doing my PhD, but I realized, like, let's first finish this, because
Yeah.
otherwise
one step at one step at a time.
maybe I'm never going to finish it.
Yeah.
So then when I after my defense, I bought my first gear and I just started playing a bit at home, and then it kind of went pretty fast. After my first gig, I got immediately a next booking, and it kind of kept rolling. In the beginning, it was like once a month, and soon it was once a week. And then I started also to like travel a lot and tour in different countries. And then I started working half time, because it got kind of difficult.
Yeah, now it's a bit of school and music and the nightlife and this during the
Yes.
day, the hours, balancing it all out.
I was lucky that at my university I was able to have a very flexible schedule. So as long as except of course for the hours that I was teaching, like all the research and the preparations, I could do whenever I wanted. I could also do it abroad. I could do it in the night or in the weekend or whenever, as long as the work is done, basically. So that made it possible for me to combine the two things. But since the 1st of February, I am actually I took a break from teaching, and I'm just doing music at the moment. So.
February of this year.
Yes, so
Okay.
Okay. So at the moment I have more time to also focus more on music production and to prepare everything better, because in the end I felt like I was compromising on both sides, kind of.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have the time to just
Pursue like where you're
especially
interest
because
is.
I'm already
moving
I'm not
around,
20
touring.
I'm not 20 anymore, so
Yeah.
I feel like it's now or never. So I'm just gonna.
Go all out.
I'm gonna give myself 1 year of time to just focus on that, and then I might go back to part-time teaching or whatever. I'll see how that.
Okay.
How it
And
goes.
then in your press kit, sorry to interrupt you.
No.
In your press kit, there's something that I noticed, and you haven't mentioned it. Like in your childhood, you used to do.
Ballet.
Yeah. So
Yes.
you're a ballerina, right?
I was always dancing. Like since I was a little kid, I was always dancing. So
Yeah.
in that way, that's actually how I fell in love with music. That wasn't the meaning for me. I also went to music school, but music school was more boring. It was more. Yeah, somehow, like I learned to play an instrument, and I had music classes and all that. But
You can play
they
instruments?
They focused back then, at least. I'm not doing it anymore, but they focused a lot on music theory, and it was always like playing, like I played accordion, funny enough.
Mm.
So it was a lot focusing on the technical aspects of, like, you get a classical piece and you have to study that piece and you have to just practice until you can play that piece. There was no room for improvisation, so there was not much creativity there. In like that was just the way they organized the classes in the music school I attended.
Yeah.
So I guess I missed this part of improvising and just jamming, and that's something that I'm trying to do more now, like
Yeah.
giving myself more time to be creative,
Mm.
because I have been developing different sides of myself, but then that creative part was always kind of in need to have more time, and that's why I decided to take a break so I can
Focus on.
just develop myself in a more creative way.
Mm.
Um,
Okay, in these all these different courses that you have like I don't even know, like you've studied so much, like in school. It seems like anything that interested you, you could comfortably like just go and actually put attention to it and study more into it.
as long as I was interested in it.
Oh, as long as
yes,
okay,
because
yeah.
if I had to study something that I was not interested in, I had difficulties to focus on it. So I mean, I guess it's normal also. But
Yeah, no, it's normal with everything.
everything I studied was, except then for the web development, everything I studied was kind of within the range of human sciences, right?
Yeah.
So
True.
that's what interests me. So
Human science and all these things that you studied, do you think like you apply most of them like in like what you're currently pursuing, like in your DJing career?
I mean, not very aware of, not very conscious. Maybe unconsciously, I guess. Obviously, if you study psychology or sociology, it's gonna influence the way you look at things. It's gonna influence how you perceive things. It's kind of, the glasses you're looking through.
Yeah.
So for sure, it influences my way of thinking, my way of looking at other things,
Interacting with people.
but it's not. I guess it's always gonna influence you in some way. It's just,
Yeah.
like studying at the university definitely gave me a more in-depth view in different, things in society, and influenced my way of perceiving things or understanding things. So of course it influenced me, but I'm not actively. Yeah, I don't really think about it when I DJ. Of course,
Yeah.
it's really something that might influence it unconsciously, but it's not that I really try to kind of analyze my crowd in an like
Psychological.
in a psychological way or something like that. No,
Yeah,
of course
no.
not. I just feel the vibe, and when I see people smiling and dancing, I guess they are enjoying themselves. But
It makes you
like,
happy and you just go with the flow.
exactly, yeah. So
Nice. When you're just getting into like the DJ career, starting off and everything, like what was the hardest beat that you had before, like you knew like all the technicalities? Did you ever have like a problem with beat mixing and everything? Because the kind of music that you do, it's all about like, beat matching and everything.
yeah. Well, I guess it's also kind of the easiest genre of music to mix because it's all 4x4. So in that way, so the technical aspects, I actually I never followed any classes, so I watch sometimes when I have to, for instance, play with gear that I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I watch a YouTube video about it, or I go through the specifications just to be sure I find the right buttons. And also when I just started, I watched some YouTube videos. So I'm like, YouTube helps me in a lot of things.
In everything,
I
you
just
have all the
Google,
answers.
yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
Google and I watch some videos and I read something about it. I also sometimes, of course, I know so many people who are DJs. I mean, everyone is a DJ,
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously sometimes you get tips from friends or you talk about it with other people. Or I also just sometimes pay attention when other DJs are playing, like, oh, what are they doing, or try things out at home. I started with a little controller because I was obviously not sure whether I was gonna, so I didn't want to invest in the, because
the
DJ
heavy
equipment is super
it's
expensive.
super expensive.
Exactly, but then after a while I realized, like, okay, now this is gonna go a bit more serious.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have the gear at home so that I could practice a bit more. But now that I kind of know how to do it, I actually don't practice that much anymore at home. So
you just go and play.
no, of course I prepare
or just
my
make
sets
your set,
in that way that but that's something you do on your computer. It's not really on the gear.
You use Serato, right?
So, no,
you don't use Serato?
No, I know that in Kenya everyone uses Serato, but I don't use it. No.
Okay, tell us what you use.
I just play with the USB sticks and I prepare.
Also, you actually beat match the music and just play back to back.
Back to back.
Like, do you have a software you don't use?
So in advance, I upload all my tracks in Recordbox, which is the software that comes with the CDJs. Basically, it's provided by Pioneer.
Yeah.
And there you can analyze the tracks. You can add comments, for instance, so that you can remember the different tracks. So that's what I do when I prepare. For hours and hours, I'm just listening to music online, on SoundCloud, and on Beatport, and just listening to all the new music that came out, and I buy the tracks that I like and that I think I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
And then I upload it in Recordbox, and that's where you make your playlists. So you can make the playlist on your computer, and then you export it to your USB stick, and then you plug in the USB stick in the
and it has like your tracks and everything.
Pioneer CDJs, and you find your playlist there, and you also have like the search option to type in if you so there are ways to organize your music so that you find it easily, and so that's basically what means preparing my set.
No, I mean, I can see your reaction when I asked you, like, what? Yeah. So I was telling you about, I think you just smiled and laughed when I told you about how a lot of Kenyan DJs use Serato. Everybody's using Serato, right? Did you notice that?
So. Yeah, this is what I hear while I'm here. So it's apparently very popular here.
It is.
I think in Europe.
Back in Belgium or Europe, how is it?
I don't know many Serato users. Most of them, if they play with a computer, they use Traktor.
Ah, okay.
It's more common to use Traktor, and then they have those. But
the console, the little console.
I just decided to not play with a computer because I just feel that there is. In the very beginning, with my very first controller, it worked with a computer, and I just noticed that you kind of
focused on you miss the moment.
You look at the screen, and I want to look at the audience. So.
A lot of DJs don't. I mean, a lot of DJs would rather focus on the laptop.
Yeah, so I rather have some interaction with my
crowd. Interaction is more important.
It is already at the moment that you're mixing, you're already just paying attention to what you're doing. So in between, if you have some time, I rather have some interaction with the audience.
Yeah.
Than looking at the screen. I feel that DJs who play with a computer. I mean, I do see the advantages of playing with a computer.
Yeah.
I'm not going to discuss that because there are definitely advantages. But yeah, it's about interaction.
I think it takes away the fun from just DJing in general, because now what you're talking about is actually like, feeling the beats. Like that's why like the kind of, like even when I see you play, you're always like, because you get to count the beats, you get to feel the music, rather than when you're using like your laptop, it's just like, you can already see the BPM, you can already see like the sound waves matching them.
All those things, you also see them on the CDJs.
Yeah. Okay.
The CDJs have a little, like the CDJs nowadays are basically small computers.
Yeah.
They have also the screen, and you see
like the Pioneers, like they have like the leaned up.
You see the wave,
everything,
the BPM and the wave form as well.
Okay.
So in that way, yeah, it is almost the same as a computer basically. Okay. Nowadays you can the very first CDJs where you literally had to put in a CD and then try to find, like, there was not the easy way of finding your tracks, and
it wasn't true.
So yeah, that's a different story.
Oh, okay.
But
Now
the new CDJs that they
they're
use
way
now,
advanced, right?
it is almost as
What's your choice of console? What's like, because you don't want to go to a gig and then you find like these guys have like a crazy setup that like what this I don't know how to use this gear. What happens when you go to a gig and then they've booked you and then you find gear that you don't even know how to use?
that doesn't happen because
You get Technics 1200s there waiting for you.
Yeah, no. So they always ask in advance, like, what is your technical rider?
Yeah.
And then they should provide the gear that you need. And the gear I need is, I guess, the most common setup. It's Pioneer CDJs with the Pioneer mixer. Or, I mean, the mixer. I can also use another mixer, Allen and Heath. I'm comfortable with as well. All clubs or events have that. So
yeah, it's like standard,
Yeah.
Especially if you're bringing in guest DJs, I think it's just like the safest way to go, right?
Yeah, so in that way, I don't have that problem. That I mean, if you play vinyl, it's rather the opposite. That if you need the technics, you should request them.
Yeah.
Like the CDJs will be there even if you don't request. But
True.
if you're playing vinyl nowadays, you have to request it. But yeah, I decided not to play vinyl because I just don't see myself carrying boxes and taking planes with my vinyl. And I'm just going for the practical.
You'll be paying for extra luggage. How heavy is like a Technics? Just one of them. You'll be paying a lot of money just to move around.
Yeah, vinyl is heavy and also collecting vinyl is kind of more complicated. They have to send it. You have, I mean...
Maybe if you're using vinyl, maybe just go with Serato, right?
There is definitely a charm about vinyl, but it's just...
Yeah, I know.
I'm from the digital era, so yeah.
I get it. Do you remember your first gig? Have you just what kind of experience do you remember like from your first gig?
Yeah, so my very first... so I had played a few times like at home for friends and a birthday party, but then the first time that I played at a public event was at Kiwi Burn, which is the regional Burning Man event of New Zealand. So I was very far away,
and that's a big gig as well, right?
Not many people knew me, so I was kind of comfortable in that way that it was not so scary.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that was at that point it was so much fun that was. I think at that point I decided that I wanted to start.
I want to pursue this.
Really DJing. And then back in Belgium, I had a friend who also DJs, and he said, there is this guy who organizes after parties, and he wants to book me, but he was looking for someone who could fit with the lineup, and he knew that I play about the same genre
kind of music,
because we like the same music.
Yeah.
So he said, you should record a set so I can propose you and then we can both play there. So that was when I recorded my first set. And then, they booked me, and that was really nice. It was a really good gig. I enjoyed it so much. Then they booked me again a month later, and I guess from there it kind of started.
Everything just started going back and forth.
Most gigs lead to another gig.
Yeah.
There's always someone who just likes you and then comes to ask for your contact details, and that's kind of how it started rolling.
Okay, when it comes to just that lifestyle that you're already inside it, do you still get anxious like when you're booked for like an event and there's a certain kind of crowd, you don't know how they're going to react? Do you always get anxious before you play, or you're always like just good to go, I've done this 1,000 times, I'll still do it?
Yeah, no, I'm not a very nervous person. I'm quite calm, so my nerves don't bother me too much. A few times when it's a really important and big gig, I am a bit nervous in advance, but usually once I start playing, it's also over. So that's fine.
That's a good experience as
but
well.
I have been performing my whole life, since I was in kindergarten. I had performances of playing instruments. I also did like theater.
Acting, that is.
Yeah, but that was like after, I did music school, but also theater school. Or
But
how do you
always
call it?
basically being in front of people it's not something
I was
new.
always performing. Like being
Yeah.
on a stage is something I have been doing since I was 4 years old, also with the dancing. So in that way, I guess I'm a bit used to it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I ask my friends, "Oh, can you come on stage and take a video?" Because
Yeah,
for
yeah.
social media I need videos.
Yeah.
And then some people are like, "Oh no, I'm not gonna go on stage." Like
What?
But if you are not used to it, it is kind of
Yeah.
overwhelming that there's sometimes 1,000 people looking at you. So I get that, but because I have been doing it my whole life, I guess it's not.
Funny enough is that, it's just because, you asked me like, if I was free to come to the gig, because I do like crazy digital content for people. I do crazy digital content, like videos and stuff. So I was just like, you know what, like I really wish I was free so that I can just come and do like a really nice video for you. And even just by the time, like, you come for the podcast, you see like the video, it'd be like, what? You know what? The next time I'm in Kenya, I need to call this guy. Where is he? But like I guess there's always like the next time. So
yeah, it's always a challenge to have content for social media.
Yeah.
It's really a pain in the ass, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all, but it's something we have to do.
It's the marketing right now. I mean, you don't have like a choice.
I know, but it's exhausting.
Is it too hard for you to like just keep up with like the Instagrams and Facebooks and everything? Because you do need it. You can't ignore it. Like that's the wave right now.
I know, and I don't like it. I wish I didn't have to do it, but I know I have to do it, so I do my best.
Yeah.
I also don't really understand Instagram. I find it quite like it's just pictures. There's not like
you can do videos, you can do series. I'll tell you what. The next time
I don't get why this medium is so popular.
Listen, the next time you're in Kenya, or maybe East Africa, if I'll just be around and we'll still be in touch, just give me a call, send me a message on WhatsApp. I'll come shoot your gig for free. For free. Like I got you. It's the least I can do because you showed up for my podcast, and I'll show you the difference you can make. I know people like just do videos, but I'll show you the difference. You have to see it and understand it, and even just see yourself in that kind of character, and you'll be like, oh, now I understand.
Yeah, but obviously it's impossible to always have a professional social media content manager with me. So basically I have to ask friends like, oh, can you take a little video? Or a lot of people really don't know very well how to do that. And then you have bad quality taken with a phone. The sound is horrible.
They're shaking.
or even dancing. Well, So yeah. It's always a challenge to have nice and good content, but also just to like post regularly. It takes a lot of time.
True.
Time that I would rather spend on making music.
Yeah.
So and then Facebook. I kind of understood Facebook. It was the first. I was never very eager and very fast with like using the social media because I just don't feel the need to put things out there.
Yeah.
I share things with my friends, but I don't feel the need to put it online. But I started using Facebook, and then I could see the advantage. Okay, this is cool because I stay easily in touch with all the friends that I meet abroad, and I see from my high school friends that they got a baby or and then there are the events, there are the different groups, so there is really a social network. You can share different things. I got it. It's like, okay, it's kind of giving away my privacy, but there are so many advantages that it's worth it. But for Instagram, it took me a long time. I was like, but it's just pictures. You can't repost, you can't share, you don't even know who is commenting because everyone has a different name.
Yeah.
I didn't get it at all. So
So it's still a problem right now?
I mean, I do my best to post on a like regular basis and to add some hashtags and all that. But it takes time, and it's for me, I do it because I know I have to do it, but if I didn't have to do it, I wouldn't.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's a bit crazy for especially people who who are not used to it, but for me, I can tell you, like, I post 5 videos in a day, and at least Actually 10 videos, 10 on
Oh
Insta
wow.
stories and 2 videos like on my main timeline and at least like 1 picture every single day. Every single day.
Wow.
But I've just made it part of my routine cause I've been doing it and I'm always adapting to like all the new platforms. And I think as a content creator, if somebody comes to me, they're like, I have a problem with my Instagram. That's when I come in like, yo, you know what? Just log in. Let's use your phone. And then I do like your things for you when you're at a live event.
Mm-hmm.
I send you videos, short edited videos, like within like less than 5 hours.
Yeah.
But it's because I do it on a regular and that's my job.
Yeah.
So I understand how hard it is. Even when
Yeah,
someone...
and as you said, within
Yeah.
5 hours, but 5 hours is a lot of time.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. True.
so,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, but I understand that it's important. Also, promoters want to see
They want that, yeah.
that, yeah, because they have to kind of sell you, right, to the
Yeah.
audience. So
Yeah.
if you have a nice Instagram profile and people are gonna look at it and might think, oh, that's someone worth checking out. If your Instagram profile is not attractive, or then people don't even see why would I go to this party because it's not an interesting. So you have to make sure it's
Actually,
nice,
the next time you step in Kenya, I have a friend who'd be gladly join me. We can do photos and videos for you when you're around.
that would be awesome.
And I won't charge you at all. That's just coming from me. And because I know like if I land in Belgium, I know I'm not going to like all events. I have like just a pass. I'm like, yo, I'm with Amare. Get me a
Yes.
pass. Get me a pass. It's the least you
If,
can
if
do.
you ever come to Belgium, you
Yeah,
should definitely let
definitely,
me know. Yes.
definitely. So, just music in general just crosses all borders, and that's how a lot of people like worldwide can kind of like currently like interact. Music just brings us all together.
Absolutely.
So, what made you decide? Even though I'm in Europe, I really need to step my foot like in Africa and even do my tour like there. What leaves you like that open-minded to actually try? And because even from here you're going to Uganda.
Yeah.
Yeah. What motivates you to like just move around?
So I've always been a traveler. I love traveling. As I said, I studied anthropology as one of the first things. So
Yeah.
it's just something that always intrigued me. It also opened. I mean, it's so inspiring. It opens your mind. You understand that other people see things from a different perspective. You start to understand that your way is not the only way. And also maybe not the best way. And I'm convinced that traveling is one of the best schools, kind of, maybe even better than university. It teaches you so much. So yeah, I kind of like moving around and meeting different people. So in that way, I guess, I was never going to be a DJ who only plays in Belgium, like a residency for a weekly residency in a club in
Yeah,
Brussels.
in just a club, yeah.
That would not excite me as much as traveling around and playing for different audiences. And because I obviously love the music I play, so
Yeah.
and I love when people when I see that people feel the vibe and become happy, start smiling just
Yeah.
because of the music. It lifts your mood and it makes people happy. I like to go and to other places and play for different audiences. And yeah,
Okay, when it
it's
comes,
just something I really wanted.
it's
and that's
fulfilling
why
to you.
Yeah, that's why it's happening, because I want that.
Nice. How's since you've mentioned the club scene in Belgium, how is it compared to I'd say a good example maybe Kenya, because that's where I'm from, and how in comparison to how the club life is in Belgium and just Kenya, how they receive the kind of music you play. What's your take on that?
Well, it was very positively received. I was surprised because so I played here last year as well, and because it was Kenya, I thought maybe stick a little bit more to the housey side.
Yeah.
Because with Afro house, people are very used to the house sound, maybe not that much to the techno sound. So I played a bit more vocals and a bit more housey, or I mean, still within my range, of course, but than I would usually do. And that actually, that was also very well perceived. It was an amazing party last year as well. But this time I didn't really, I just played my melodic techno, and they loved it. It was a
People
really
just
good
gravitated
party.
to it.
It was a really good party. The people were going crazy. And it was amazing to see that. Yeah. So it makes me so happy if I see that, people are
To
going
know that,
wild
yeah, just
on
to
my
know that you're
music.
coming across the world and you'll play this music and people will just be readily accepting it. I'm sure like that just blows your mind and makes you feel like, I'm actually doing the right thing, or just I'm on the right track.
Yeah, it's really nice to see people like enjoying the music you play, of course, because then it's also sharing something together. It's like, okay, yeah, you get it.
Do you, do you think Kenya...
Connects people, yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, go for it.
I have this thing about my chain of thought. If something comes like in my head, if I don't ask it, like, I can easily like just forget. Like I could be looking at you, and then once you say something, I'd forget like immediately like what I wanted to say. Would you say Kenyans love EDM, or it's just like a little portion of people who are like, passionate about that? From just
be
your
honest,
experience in general, like, what do you think?
I think they most of them like Afro house and hip hop, right? I guess
Yeah.
those are the most popular genres here. But honestly, I cannot really say anything about it, because I just with the few gigs that I played here,
Yeah.
obviously it's just a niche of people that attend those parties. It's not
It's not everyone,
yeah,
like a majority
so
of the
I
people.
cannot really judge about it. Yeah, for sure. This techno is more mainstream in Europe than it is here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
for sure. And have you finished? Sorry.
Yeah.
Have you finished?
Yeah.
My apologies. I'm so sorry. Another question would be like, just from your press kit, you also got to play in one of the most popular events, like worldwide. Tomorrowland.
Yes.
When was this?
Yeah, I played there already a few times.
Yeah.
It's always in summer, so
Oh,
and
it's-
I'm gonna
wait,
play there
wait,
this
is
summer
it-
as well.
It's always in Belgium.
Yes, it's always in Belgium.
You're also playing this.
Yeah, I'm gonna play there this year as well.
Jeez.
So,
Okay, hey,
it's
hey,
gonna
listen,
be
man.
the third year that I'm at in Tomorrowland. So.
Oh, you're the first DJ I'm talking to who's playing for Tomorrowland. So guys, hey, it's a first year exclusive. How's that experience though? How is it like just playing? Because that crowd is insane. I just see it on YouTube.
But what you see on YouTube is the main stage, though, no?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then.
But still, it's Tomorrowland.
Yeah,
Come on,
but Tomorrowland has 17 stages.
17.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a really big festival.
Yeah.
And so I didn't play at the main stage because main stage is EDM. That's EDM
Yeah.
music.
Okay, wait. It's EDM. You said what's the category name of what you play?
Melodic techno.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, but they have all electronic music genres in the different stages.
In the different
Yeah.
17 stages.
Yeah. Yes. So.
How's the
I don't-
experience? Yeah,
it's
that's
amazing, of course. I mean, it's very impressive. The main stage, you have seen the images, right? It's like an artwork. It's
Yes.
kind of a Walt Disney for electronic music or something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's very, very well organized. It's very impressive how well organized it is. They have so many people, so many artists. I think that, no, I'm not sure, but I think it was that 600 artists over one weekend that they have.
600.
And then 120,000 people. So
Organizing
and
that's crazy.
organizing this, and like there are no incidents. Everything goes smoothly. It's insane how well organized it is. I think it's the best organized event in the world. I guess that's why they became so popular. And then their marketing is really good also.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking about social media content, it's also
People
always.
travel. I know people travel from Kenya to go to Tomorrowland.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so many people. When I travel and I tell people I'm from Belgium, first thing they say is like, "Oh, Tomorrowland."
Tomorrowland. Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
super famous all over
Yeah.
the world. Like I didn't even realize this.
Oh man, Tomorrowland is just like everybody's dream, man.
Yeah,
I
it's so
would.
funny.
I
actually.
want to. Like even somebody suggested it. Like we should go. We should plan for the next one. But I was like, you know what? It just depends, man. Because I have to take like 2-3 weeks off in what I'm doing to plan the trip, so that after the event, you can also like just do
Of
a little
course,
tour.
yeah,
You
yeah.
yeah.
You cannot for just 3 days.
Yeah, and just enjoy like the place, environment, and people. So I mean, that's in the works as well. But it's very, very popular. That's the one event when it comes to just electronic music. Everybody worldwide knows, thanks
Yeah.
to social media. Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
So, but on the other hand, they were already there before social media.
yeah, true.
So I went to the first Tomorrowland edition in 2005. So but in 2005 there was no Facebook yet. So
Yeah.
I had it. No, I think it's since 2000.
Oh, it was just starting off, maybe.
Not even. I think Facebook started 2007, but it was like only widespread in 2009 maybe, and then I had my first Facebook account in 2012 only. So I was never too much attracted to the social media thing. So
Okay, Tomorrowland. Did you ever? Because this person is one of the like most iconic people in electronic industry. Did you ever perhaps like get a chance to meet or just be next to Avicii
oh
by any
no,
chance? No?
no, no. But then that
Not
is
even in
also
all,
really
like,
not
but-
the music I listen to.
Oh, okay. Is he
That's
influential in
EDM.
any way to
No.
you? No?
No,
Oh no. But like in Kenya, we love his music.
but
Like even worldwide, I'm just saying,
yeah,
like he's
of
very
course.
influential in.
There are he made a few really nice productions,
Yeah.
but that's really not. I don't follow that music at all. No, and it didn't. No, I never went to a show of him. It's just that's just not my.
That's
style.
not. Oh, that's
Yeah.
not your style.
No.
When it comes to just the kind of music that you do, have you thought of? Because when it comes to just electronic music and DJing, what I've noticed in Europe, it's very popular. Is a lot of the DJs kind of like turn into producers as well.
Yeah.
Have you thought of like venturing into like that kind of like?
Yeah, that's the reason why I decided to take a break, because I needed more time. Yeah.
To actually pursue and
Oh yeah, because it's kind of a must.
a must.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to get a bit further with teaching and really want to earn your living with it,
Yeah.
you also have to.
Because now that's where you introduce
There-
like royalties and.
And there is a lot of. No, it's not. It's not even
It's
about
not that?
royalties. No, not at all, because there's actually no money in that. But
Mhm.
it's more about that you will get more gigs if you produce.
Your own music.
Yeah, and the pressure is quite high. Like you have to also be a producer, almost as a DJ. So that's kind of fucked up in the industry, because, in a way, producing music and DJing are two completely different things. One is a very extrovert thing in front of an audience. The other one is like you and your computer
Indoors
in a
and
studio, and
structuring.
yeah, it's almost two different personalities, right?
True.
But the pressure is high. You have to be a producer, and this is also why nowadays so many DJs actually have ghost producers, because it's so important to have productions.
Yeah.
So yeah,
True.
the pressure is quite high in that regard. That's why I decided to stop, because it was just too difficult for me to combine teaching, DJing in the weekend, and then also make enough time to like produce
music.
So that's why I decided to take a break from teaching, to be able to have like during the week I can be in the studio and work on productions, and then in the weekend I have the gigs. Yeah.
Because from what I've seen, and this is just like from my perception, I'm not just saying this in a any kind of way. I'm just, this is what I've noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed the same. Like, a lot of the mainstream electronic music producers are men.
Yes,
A lot
absolutely.
of the mainstream, think of David Guetta, Skrillex, Calvin Harris, Tiesto,
All of them, yeah,
all the
yeah, yeah. I
mainstream,
guess it's like about 80% male in the
yeah,
music industry in general.
Marshmello. Yeah, like who? I mean, why do you think like a lot of women are not leaning towards that, even though it's like something I think they would easily do? I mean,
Yeah, it is. Well, the music industry has been a very male-dominated industry since always, especially like producers, promoters, managers, label owners are all men. If there is a woman, usually it's a singer, you know, but it is changing. I
yeah.
think the last years there are more and more
Mhm.
women who also make it in the electronic music scene.
Mhm.
But why is this? I mean, there are many industries that are male dominated, and we don't really know why that is. But
But for electronic music, like I really, that's something that I've noticed.
yeah,
Like
it's
I
even.
don't know any, like personally, I don't know any female producers like
Mhm.
who are mainstream like producing that kind of music. So even like
Yeah,
you mentioning the interest, that's why like I just want to know like where your headspace is at that.
Yeah, no, so I never had a very strong gender identity in that way that I never thought that there are certain things I cannot do because I am a woman, or I should not do because I am a woman.
Mm.
I guess I can thank my parents for that because they gave me a very gender neutral education. They never, you know,
Mm.
treated the daughters different from the sons. And I guess I could even say my dad is kind of a feminist because he wanted me to go in science and to do mathematics and to,
Yeah, to
just
do
be a strong
everything.
and
Yeah.
independent woman. So he never tried to keep me in that very female role.
Mm.
Um, so I'm lucky that I was raised in such a family, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also in my personality that I like to be independent and just do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but nevertheless, it is the nightlife is just a space that is considered not that safe, especially for women. So maybe it is just because of the very nature of the nightlife that
Yeah.
like a lot of girls are not allowed to go out at night alone by themselves in many countries,
Not
or
allowed.
not allowed to go out alone. Like their
Where?
parents request
Oh
that
yeah.
they
Oh
are
yeah. Like
accompanied
from
with
your house, like yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
yeah.
or like just
Mhm.
being out at night
Mm.
for a woman is in many countries
Mhm.
you don't go out at night alone. Like you have to be accompanied
Company, either
by either
friends.
friends or a brother or so.
Mm.
Um, and then the nightlife and like club scenes, and there's often kind of a dodgy side at it also in
Yeah.
many countries. So yeah, maybe that's why women are kind of kept away from it because it's not always considered as safe, or
Just too much.
it's considered as a place where sometimes bad things happen.
Mm.
I don't say that this is the case, but this is how people perceive it.
Yeah.
Especially people who are not in that industry, who
Yeah.
don't really know it, who
Yeah.
think that people just go out to like get drunk and get wasted and hit on girls, and
Which
instead of
is part of like
For s-
electronic music. I mean, it's
I guess
kind.
for some people this is true, but
Yeah.
I feel that the events that I attend and the clubs where I go, the focus is really on the music, and it's not about showing off or
Yeah, that's true. That's
So,
the best part of the kind of music you play.
and that's also, I guess, why I am more attracted to the underground electronic music scene, and why I don't like that much the
Mainstream.
EDM, the more mainstream scene, or even in the hip hop scene. I find that it's sometimes more about flirting and
Yeah.
kind of showing off. Even if you listen to the lyrics of the music, it's often about money, about girls,
Money,
about,
drugs. Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess that's why I am more attracted to the underground electronic music scene.
Because it's more.
It's about the music.
Yeah.
It's not about hitting on girls or showing off with clothes and with,
Yeah.
I don't know,
No, it's true. But
expensive cars or
yeah, it's all about money, power, and women. Like if you, that's what's pushed like on mainstream. Even if you
yeah.
turn on like your TV, that's what's pushed on.
And I guess that's why I'm not that much attracted to that kind of music.
What's the culture like in
It's
Belgium?
about the subculture that's because I do acknowledge that there is some really good hip hop music out there.
Yeah.
If you listen to the melodies and it's like, wow, this is really, and even in EDM there are some really nice compositions that I do acknowledge, like that's good music. But it's more about this whole culture around it, and I just feel like the techno, like it's just more, there's more soul in it, I guess.
Yeah,
And
true.
especially the melodic techno for me, at least. But that's obviously also, yeah, it's just a question of taste, right? And
True.
it's a very personal and subjective, yeah. So
And just talking about that, just to take you away from music just for like a minute, what's the culture like in Belgium? Is it more sexist driven, like, women are supposed to do this, or it's all about like equality and stuff? Because like in the 21st century, we have to bring up these conversations because, it seems like there's a lot of clash between like, the feminists and the way you say like your dad like actually encouraged you to do like all these he just wanted you to be like the best person you can be in anything that you're interested in, not necessarily because you're a woman you should do this and that. But how's the culture there in the country itself? Is it more?
no, I guess Belgium is one of the more if you look at gender equality, I guess Belgium is on a global scale doing quite well. Obviously, there is I mean, there's still a lot of ways to improve it, and it is still the case that. But then me also, I mean, even though I was kind of motivated, or like they kind of wanted to push me in the direction of doing science, like I guess my dad would have loved if I said I'm gonna become an engineer,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was more interested in the human sciences, which is a very girly thing, of course. So even though they want to like support girls to have more women in science and technology and and mathematics, still girls often choose for the more female jobs, and
Yeah.
and guys choose for, so yeah, that difference in interests is there.
Yeah.
Even though if you want to,
But it's not
It's-
like society driven, it's just personal choice.
I guess it is still embedded in society, just by from a very young age, by the toys you get to play with, the examples that you
true.
get in life.
True.
Because I have been thinking about this also. Why didn't I think earlier about becoming a DJ? Well, maybe because I never saw a female DJ.
That's
Like-
very true.
But
Yeah.
unconsciously, because I never.
Can she take that?
Yes.
Your cookie?
You want a cookie?
You don't want?
You should eat a cookie.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah.
You just didn't see like any female DJs growing up,
no.
and that leaves you in that spot where.
And actually, at one point, when I thought about the first time that it hit me that I maybe wanted to be a DJ, was actually when I was looking at the lineup of a festival, and they had like passport-sized pictures of all the DJs,
Yeah.
and I was just looking at all the DJs that were gonna play there, and it just hit me like they're
Wow.
all men. There is not there was like 50 DJs. It was not a single woman.
Yep.
And then I also, like, it also hit me like, oh, but I love electronic music. Maybe I would, but I never thought about it.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the first time that I thought about why I don't like become a DJ.
Yeah.
It's something I would totally love to do. So I guess that's where the first idea started.
Like why shouldn't I tap into this
But,
field, which
yeah.
is.
So, but I never saw a female DJ for many, many years. I think Nina Kravitz was the first female DJ I saw. And she's quite recent, actually. I mean, like.
Yeah, it's not from the longest.
Yeah, exactly. So, And then she doesn't even play music that I like, so.
You
But
sound very picky about like the music that you want to like, um, absorb in your space, and that's a good thing because you do. It's not everybody right now who's like even joining like the DJ industry. They would sway into anything that's mainstream. Whether it's hip hop, they'll be like, you know what, I'm playing like mainstream hip hop. Whatever is like on the countdown charts, that's what I'm playing. When it comes to like even electronic, they would lean towards what like Tiesto and all these other mainstream like DJs are doing. So it's good to have like just that thing, and you're focused, and you're like, no, what? I don't listen to that. I don't listen to that. I don't. I don't listen to that. It's a good thing because it also like makes, even I think when it comes to production, you'll be able to do like just something that's from your own. You'll tap into your own creativity. You won't really be influenced with.
I guess you're always influenced by
Mhm.
by everything you have heard before. That's just how it works. You cannot, you know, you cannot start with an empty plate.
True.
If you have been experiencing so much and listening to so much music in the past, it's always going to influence you. That's just how it works.
That's given.
Yeah.
Since you've mentioned that, who are your influences? Who are the people like you looked up to when you're just starting off and you're like, you know what, this person is inspiring me to actually pursue this. I like how they play. What are the names, or who are some of these people who inspired you?
Yeah, there are definitely a few like producers and DJs that I like a lot. Like Adriatic. I don't know whether those names are gonna say something.
Just tell me. I'll
But
go to Google. I'll do
yeah.
my Google. I'll do my Google and
So it's a duo from Switzerland. They
Yeah.
make amazing music, and I also really like the way they like build their sets and all that. Then there is more recently. There are a few. There are a lot of. Somehow I have something with Italian producers. There are a lot of my favorites or happen to be Italian. I guess Italians have a good taste.
Wow.
So there
Okay.
is there is art. No, Artbot is not Italian, but there are also there's Moonwalk. There is Agents of Time, Tale of Us, Undercat. So all producers of which I almost every new track that comes out
Yeah.
from them I like. So and I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna play it. Maybe not every track, but almost every track. So those are like some of my favorite producers. Moonwalk, they were very good. And then I guess
Those are some that can come like
they
those
are very close to the genre that I play. But then I'm not too as I say I play melodic techno, but also house, and I mix kind of the both together. So I don't stick to one genre, and then I will also play one like Chicago song in between to, have change the vibe a bit or whatever. So although you say it's very specific, I still listen to quite a broad range of. But within
but
techno and house, there is still a lot of different genres. So.
But I'm just saying, it sounds like you're in tune with yourself, and you don't just want to be swayed easily with anything that just because it's mainstream. And I see that like even with a lot of just electronic music fans, like because like for us, anybody who's like not into like electronic music will know the mainstream people. So anytime you'd mention this to like somebody who's into it, they'd be like, you know what, that's not what I listen to. And you'd be like, what do you mean? Like, isn't it the same thing? But when you take a minute to just study like that electronic section, it's like so wide when it comes to variety that even like the way you're saying, like I'm sure you said how many artists were performing like in the Tomorrowland that you performed.
No, I'm not
There's
100% sure, but I think it was 600 for one weekend. That I heard.
I'm sure like there's
it's 3 days, of course, and 17 stages and like 12 hours per day.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. Yeah.
I'm sure there are people from one stage who have no idea like about one DJ and the other end. Like they're like,
sure.
but still, all these people have like their fan bases and the kind of music they play.
Of course, yes.
And that's
and
very
it's a matter of
interesting to know.
taste, and it's also you cannot really discuss that, right?
Yeah,
You cannot
true.
force someone to listen to it.
That's very true. Okay, so my next question would be, just now, aside from the music, you really do move around a lot.
Yeah.
Your calendar is like different location. How do you deal with that and like just like your close friends and family? That means like most of the time you're away from like the people who are family or close friends. How do you deal with that just like a person in general? How do you deal with that?
No, it's actually not that bad. I'm still home quite a lot, and then obviously, yeah, it's the digital era, so I can just talk on the phone over WhatsApp or have a
FaceTime.
yeah. So it's actually pretty easy to stay in touch with friends, and even friends because obviously, yeah, because I travel so much, I have friends in a lot of different places. And when I was 20 years old, for instance, if I met people on a holiday or on a trip,
Yeah.
I thought afterwards, like, I'm probably never gonna see them again. But now I know that
You can stay in touch.
we stay in touch, and I see the people again and again all over the place. So it's also actually a pretty small community, the electronic music scene. So you like if you go to different festivals in different parts of the world, you often meet the same people again. So
It's not that hard.
it's not that hard. No.
Okay, then now let's say how about things like relationships? Are you married or are you like just
Yes, I have a partner. We're not married, but
or you are in a relationship, right? Oh,
yes,
yeah, it's
already
a
almost.
partnership.
Yes.
Okay.
For-
How do you deal with that though? Like, okay, now friends aside, but just like in a relationship, is it easy to date somebody who's like kind of like in the same industry that you're in, or
yeah, no, he's
just
absolutely
something
not
completely?
yes, he's not in the same industry, but he loves the same music. He loves the music that I play, so it's easy to go to events because we both like the same music.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty important, actually. Otherwise, you're gonna go out in
Yeah.
different kind of events. So, yeah, whenever he is able to join me, he's gonna join me. But obviously, he cannot join all the time because
Yeah.
mostly they pay my flight, but obviously they're not gonna pay his
Yeah.
flight. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, he sometimes travels with me if it's possible, and if not, I travel by myself, and I also enjoy that. Actually, I mean, we have been together for a very long time.
Long
So,
time?
yeah.
How long is long?
Almost 20 years.
20 years.
Yes.
No, but you know, that's special because, you know, like in this digital era, like people like have really like short span relationships.
Yes, I
like,
know,
you know,
but no.
that's insane. And that just means this is like your best friend, basically.
Oh yes, it's my best friend.
Yeah. So like other people like us in the dating scene, man, like it's just chaos. It's chaos. You keep trying, and you're like, what is this? Like it's just hard to find somebody that you can be compatible with and just do it for like that kind of long time. So with that being said, what would you say if you're like to advise somebody who's getting like into the dating game right now? Because you're among the few people that I know. Everyone who have brought in the podcast, like they've broken up. They just marriage is not working out and everything. What advice would you give to people just in order to like just sustain yourself in a relationship like for like that kind of duration?
Well,
We all need tips. We do.
It's very difficult to give advice because every person is different and every person wants something different. But why this relationship works so well for me,
Yeah.
and it was working very well from day one, is because, yeah, first of all, we get along very well. We are really good friends. We completely trust each other. We are very honest and open. We always tell we know everything about each other. And then the reason why I can be completely open and I can talk about anything and about everything I'm thinking or feeling is because he is always accepting it the way it is. He's never judging. He's never gonna get upset or mad about something. So he's always just listening open and if you know that whatever you're gonna share with another person is gonna be received in that way, it's very easy to be open and honest.
Yeah.
I think that people start lying or keeping secrets out of fear of the reaction of the other person, like, oh my god, I'm better not telling this because then he might think this or this, or he might judge me in this or this way, or he's gonna be upset about it. So that's why people start keeping secrets, but if you know that the other person is not gonna judge you, it's just gonna try to understand what you're feeling or talking, and open to it, and even if maybe it's something that makes him sad, it's not gonna get mad about it. It's just gonna be like, thanks for sharing. So I guess that's a very, very important part of it, and that's, we both try to be in this way. So I guess that's why it works. And besides that, he is always supporting me no matter what I do. Like, as I said, I did so many different things. I did different jobs. I did different studies. And then even now I wanted to become a DJ. So many people would, I mean, like my parents, for instance, they were judging about it. They were like, what the hell? You're like having such a great academic career, and now you're gonna be a DJ? They didn't get it at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, my partner, he just supports me in anything that I want. And yeah, I guess that's the key to a long-lasting relationship. And then you can feel grounded and you can feel at home with this person. You're not always going to be on the lookout for the next best thing. You can just have that level of contentment that you're just happy and grateful for what you have. And
okay, this is just like another question, but it's out of curiosity because I don't know much about the European lifestyle and stuff, but I've just heard about it, right? And this question is just like from curiosity, right? So you can't take it like the wrong way or anything. It's just me just trying to understand. I've been told, like, just Europeans, like in their culture, they're very liberal, and some even like have like this kind of like open relationships and kind of stuff. Like, are we talking about that kind of situation, or are we talking about like, it's just strictly you and your partner? Because I mean, I've just heard, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I guess that's something that everyone has to just decide for themselves and how they feel about it. That's really, I cannot give any advice in that. It really depends on whatever your expectations are in a relationship, or whatever you feel. That's really something everyone has to decide themselves. But it's true that I think you have to let the other person free. Like, if you try to change your partner, if you try to limit this person, like if you're gonna tell him, oh no, I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to go there, or, because I guess in a lot of relationships this is actually what happens. I guess that's where the lies start, and because then it's like, oh, I know he doesn't like it when I go there or there, and I did go, so I better don't tell him. And so that's where the whole circle of lies, and that's how the relationship is going to end, because those relationships are not going to last long. So I guess being open and let each other be free, and let the other person just be themselves and develop in a way. And then if you're open and accepting, you're going to kind of also grow towards each other, and it's going to get easier and easier over time, because you know each other so well, and you just while if you start with lies and trying to change the other person, you're going to grow apart.
Can I just interject just a bit? When I'm saying open, I mean like open with like other partners. And that's what I mean.
Yeah, so as I said, everyone has to decide on that by themselves.
Is that like a European kind of vibe thing? I mean,
I don't think it's that common actually, but yeah.
Would you approve that, or you just like, no, that's not for me?
I don't think I need to say this on. As I said, that's my personal life.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, like, like even just for the podcast, I'm just intrigued with people, and I'm always like, because I want my mind to be able to understand all these different perceptions, because that's how I learn. Like, like you're from Belgium, it's a whole different lifestyle. So when I'm asking all these questions, like now I understand like how all these different people operate and everything. But yeah, thanks for sharing that. So as we're just winding up the podcast, I normally ask this one question to every guest, And the question is, what's the one thing that you think right now you're trying to pursue that's gonna give you like a kind of your life like meaning, a sense of direction, satisfaction? What's that one thing that you think you're waking up and chasing every single day? And if you got it today, you'll be like, you know what? I think I made a mark in this life, and this is all I wanted, and I can just now like sit back and enjoy this life. That
Yeah, I guess I don't have that many like big goals anymore.
Yeah.
I'm at a stage right now that I'm pretty content with whatever life is bringing me, and I don't feel like, oh, those no things. Like, it's not that I have like this huge bucket list of things that I desperately need to do
Yeah.
within the next 10 years or something. I guess I've done already many of the things that I was dreaming of when I was young.
Yeah.
So I didn't really postpone.
Yeah.
So and yeah, I'm usually like this. If I get something in my mind and I feel like, oh, this is what I want to do, I just do it. Like, I don't postpone too much, and I just do it as soon as possible. So I get this question more often, like, what are your life goals? Or I guess I have one life goal, is just being happy and being content with whatever
Okay, nice. So I mean, I guess
not
that's it.
chasing too many goals anymore.
No, and it's also good because, like, I think right now with the new generation, the only problem is like there's so much that they're seeing like on social media, and a lot of people are getting confused with even like their own dreams. They're trying to pursue other people's dreams, and even when you get that dream, you realize like, oh, this actually doesn't make me happy, because that was not the one thing that you're supposed to actually pursue. And it's just good to hear like from people who are talking about contentment and just like taking life step by step. If this comes my way, I deal with it. If this comes my way, I deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. So with that being said, where can people find you on social media? And first of all, thank you so much for just I just contacted you like maybe less than 48 hours ago, and you made room for me. You squeezed me in your tour list, and you're like, you know what, I'm checking in the Kiss Capades podcast. I appreciate that and respect that a lot. And that's why I say, like, anytime you're coming to Kenya, you need video done, I'll do it for free.
Awesome.
I got you.
Yeah.
Put it there. So I got you covered on that. So where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, so it's SoundCloud and Mixcloud if you want to listen to some of my sets. And that's at Amare Techno. So it's Amare, Amare, and then Techno. And it's the same for Instagram, Twitter, although I don't really use that, Facebook. So that's it.
And those platforms.
Yeah.
And is there anything else that you have going on that you'd like to plug on the podcast, or you're good? Or maybe just like a parting shot, anything else you want to say?
If anyone is still listening after an hour and a half, thank you for listening.
Trust me, they listen to more than an hour. Trust me, like this. That's why the podcast is here. So thank you so much, guys.
Thanks for inviting
It's
me.
Amare, right?
Amare.
It's Amare. It's just like I got my pronunciation all wrong.
It doesn't matter.
So, but people know what I'm talking about. Thanks for coming through to the show, guys. If you're watching or listening, it's the Kiss Capades podcast. Subscribe to iTunes, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. We keep you updated with snippets every single day, and at the end of the week, we drop the full video and iTunes audio file. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. It's the Kiss Capades podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yep, that's it.